We had often Yamamunina Joe Emma Tanase, Emma Quapa, at the Home Base TV program. I to din say Adiyie Mmre. A Hanum and Comshahodo, yes, Christ, the Maya say bidding Maya Tosum, you know, Nimino. Ye be Bimu, Emuda Honor fine, Emma Wow Donna, who ye know, who Brian drew, we are say Abacosemo. Tisamaya Cradwa, yes, so a Cradwa high age Medino, a Baba Council. Ye from a seal for this year, Kufika Carry. Na nyamea dom so evangelist or na dom ye Joseph Anane ewe entem ewe ha evangelist e mwadwo makwa ba
yeah
oba de insha papa
amen
and them say black and white ya be de na che nsem bepi
sa
ma me fa kwenye so na ye nuanom nso amadaro ma mo hwe ye ewe Royal TV ye nchia mo na mo so ye ma mu nyina tenase ene akwa ba me sere wo fa phone no na fradofo ese Adiyie Mmre program no efrase into Bia so ntwima ni TV na ontimi enhwe bi nyame tom so yes to me live e Facebook into bomodra ne fa wo smartphone no wo de fa credit kakra bi na data kakra bi femi o call Facebook home base TV a wo be ho link no ho like program no share my wo message bi afa gu ase ho time be mu a meti brand market kan dia ma eno achi no so yes stream yesan so e YouTube and also ye home base TV Ghana and also benya program no ahwe o YouTube internet so mon channel so sa emfa emai come home ni emfa sadaka se ema dofo a omo na from day 1 omo titi omo weremu yi sika kakra to amane yen eno ni etietia 7 pennies ya hankna tam yiluhia e pepe ni de akwakotua airtime no eti enyamsam ka no evangelist ka da bia se emienu ene ete ha mu hu yen nenso edom etaye echi asa adom no wo ka ho bi enti obo ade enhira papa enti still you hear sika because see it for 8 times see am no ka say cry de ka nti momwa muntwabra Macedonia emeboa ye so person say this car the best support program any program nkaya ye no me patch on number no e 055 35 74 933 we show screen any abun say production idea go on mo de copy we send this ka bi e dia baba na ye Joseph Anane and as all question bi answer the same number and abefre na evangelist ene wo edia no baba ye kama nti obo ade insha anano Daniel ekasa kire enenso Nyankopon adom Daniel eba be kasa akire nti na ye let Daniel speak part 2 nti Daniel eba be kasa kire ofra etoso mienu nti your pen ene wo paper so ready quotation be to fam no na watcho evangelist
yes ye da radio ase ye wo awie bremu Daniel can want him.
That's right.
Sanya Daniel ne kasaya ka memi nimba bia woyi.
That's right.
Na essence Daniel ka na ya twere nti no a twere ne agidi. Ti babia Daniel ni sense se eho ne yeduru no. Eno an ye nso e bekan.
That's right. Yen ka bi fufuru.
Dabi.
Me da se. Na me srama adofo amhwe ye Nyankopon ti asefo no pa. Ochina no pa 9 o'clock. E adia evangelist Joseph Anane any team ni nyina e ba Amakom SDA Church. Amakom SDA Church achina no pa 9. It's not a holiday. To be a will be a didi kwa enwa o motra ne bra ni nyina yinhia ho na yensua Adiyie enkom hye ensem no na anika se mo mu ne se ensem bi wo ha yenka o TV so nenso honum de ba be hia ho honum a ye be ready ne ye be kasa ansem no so apa hontoma e wo ho obenya kwanya so na question bi na wo na apese obisa otimi abisa no mesro ma ye mfie ye ochena holiday ochena dwo anopa 9 o'clock to 5:30 Nyami shall say also why crowd say obebebi even is ban komonko
great o hini Nebuchadnezzar o ye Babylonia hini o so daye
that's right
na ono a e kan se ne wurafi ono a ne da ne dem obi na ne nchen eno so aso daye a ne wurafi nti obi amekire obi mekire daye no ema no no nche na ase asem nyina ni na eno sha ase o Daniel homa ne 3 mienu chen ba ko ne enum Daniel chapter 2 verse 1
that's right
ehona adesua no yɛde free eni ntino Bible ma bakosam kyerɛ sɛ ɔboaboa wɔn a Yesu sɛ ɔmoni asase so nyansafo a ɔmpanimfo ɛwɔ na henie no emu ayɛbɛn no sɛ ɔmbɛkyirim ɔyɛ ntimi tino metwaso a ɛbɛduru baabi a yɛbɛfrɛ Daniel pese Daniel srɛ sɛ yɛma no kwan na ɔne Nyankopɔn kɔkasa na ogidi sɛ Nyankopɔn bɛtimi eyi akyerɛ no enti Daniel atwerɛ no tiremienu kyikyɛmu efiri aduonu enson eba de besi aduasa nwɔtwe no ɔkansɛm bi wɔ hɔ na meme fa 37 ne pɛ ɛne 38 no
okay
ti Daniel ɛkyerɛ de ɔhene no ohun yɛ wɔdae no ɔhyɛ no wiye no ɛna afei ɔkyerɛ no mu ankasa oyi dae na asa akyerɛ no ti efiri verse 37 38 no Daniel ne kasa yi ɔka kyerɛ ne sɛ Nyankopɔn bi wɔ soro na ona akyerɛ no enoma ɛbɛba ɛwɔ awie bere mu na noma ne bɛba awie bere mu no ɛne sɛ ohoni
that's right
na ohoni no ogyina ho sɛ nipa pɛpɛɛpɛ na mmom ɔyɛ ohoni a yɛde meka ne sɛ ɛfam godie ahodoɔ ahyehyɛ tin Daniel bobo ne nyinaa so kyerɛ no ɛna ɔkyerɛ mu sɛ ɛno yɛ wiase asase na bakosem ana ninkwana
that's right
efiri Nebukadnezar breso di kosi se Onyankopɔn de na henie ba besi asase so
okay
waka kyerɛ
ne me besi free ne penso
si
wiase awie
e
de nyame yi akyerɛ no
timi kan sɛ wiase ninkwana ne yɛ akyerɛ no
that's right
good enti mfoni ne wɔ TV no so sɛ de mo hwɛ no no na ohoni no hu ye no ɔse wo hwɛ ohoni no tia na ayɛ sekatiri titika akɔ ɛna hyɛ hɔ
that's right
na afei efiri ne koko ba besi ne sisi eno ɛyɛ dwetɛ na afei ne sisi ba ne yefuso nyina ne sisi ɛba besi ne srɛ ɛhɔ nyina nso ɛyɛ kɔbre na afei ne srɛ ɛba ne kotodwe de besi ne nanso ano hɔ no ɛyɛ dadeɛ na ne nanso hɔ no ankasa baabi a yɛde yɛmpabo ahyɛ no baabi a nanso ano wɔ nketenkete
that's right
ɔse hɔ no ɛyɛ dadeɛ ne dɔte a ɛde afra ɛwɔ TV no so wei ne deɛ ohuni ne hu ya wantimi ankai
that's right
yo afei Daniel kyerɛ saa wiye no ohini gyitu mu sɛ ampa wakae me deɛ me hu ye no
ohini da yini nie ka ne nkyerɛseɛ
asa enti no nhyɛaseɛ no Nyankopɔn Daniel hyɛase sɛ ɔkyerɛ mu ɛwɔ 36 ɛhɔ no ɛna ɔse this is the dream and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the intino before the king. So say that ni afei ye nante. Enti Daniel meyati ase se tichemo da san wotwe no o se wo ohene wo ni secretary no. Sa secretary na ohene no ejina ho ma no no. Eno ni Babylon ahenie.
That's right.
Enti Daniel chiri mo se wiase san bre no na ohene ba ko pe ne diso. Ye wa mama bibiri na saa manama ahodo wo wiase nyina no omu nyina hye ohin ba ko paase.
That's right.
Se Ghana na wo saa bra no mpo a ka ye mampa ni a obeti akonya so no je se ye de nsam efiri etiri di bra no onu oni asenka ye de ni susu keke wo ye oye anamusini sa enti bibia ni a efiri etiri ho eye Babylon sa na Nebukadnezar na henie ni atie ti onu nko ne wiase hene aman bia na ahemfo wo biase nyina hye nase enna Daniel kan ye no enti Daniel sa to aso se onu nachi no na sese betu na de so.
That's right.
Ahene foforo beba ampa so Nebukadnezar ye du obeye so ne tie Onyankopon ma ne Daniel abo akotena wuram kakra beye mpienson obaye ekire ebetu na hene no efiri ho a kire se enkomhye no ashema abem Medo Persia enti no ofo nyi se so mbe hu picture no screen so a mbe hu se ye de dwetɛ no abetoa so dwetɛ kokɔ no abetoa secretary no so na kyɛ sɛ die ohini hu ye no abem
okay
afei saa ahini na ba so ye Persia ni media fo ahini no ɛno nso de wiase so a de kosi sɛ ahini foforo betu ɛno nso firi hɔ ɛna Daniel kan verse 9 sɛ and a third kingdom another third kingdom Sa ahene to so miensa eno be ye kobre eno so be di asase nyina so be di wiase nyina so eno ni Greece by 331.
Okay.
Na che se nipa no a ana say yes ohoni no hu ye te se nipa no ehye ba.
That's right.
Enti Greece be di ade no on so ye de obey owiase Alexander the Great ni hu abakosem bebre yaka dodo na o TV so ha ti ono so ebe di wiase so no nyina no ono wu ye ntem ne mpanimfo enan be cha wiase ne faaye anye yi because komhye ne kire se ebe ya ahindie baako.
That's right.
Enti woni weku sa na tokwa no koye ti kosi se Rome me tu hela ahindie Greece.
That's right.
Tuongui na Rome ne be tu Greece efiri ho no na Daniel ka to se Rome de wo ba ahindie to so na ne ba ene obi entu no.
That's right.
Ebe ye den na obetietia tumi ahodo wo asase nyina so. Na oguso wo hwe no on se ne nanso ano eho na dote abefrem
emu apapai akoyo dote ne dade a ediafra
sa ti Daniel chire mu sa chire no se esan se eye dade dote ediafra nti sa na ahini no mu embe papai na mu achiche afei o sanso chire mu e wo verse 42 Daniel 2 se de emu apapai na dote no afra dade no na chire se ahini no edu sabre no a ni fa bi bayeten ni fa benso baye Mmre.
That's right.
Good. Afei Daniel ya bio wo se emo papa sa no na se bebe ai de na bebe ya Mmre sa no a ombebo moden se ye be kan ye ho afemfam ye ho.
That's right. E be femfam ye.
Yes.
Lenso enye
yi efise nhwe sekretary no a eno aye agudie baako.
That's right.
Dade bi emfrem
mu bi anim.
Ena miensa ne didi so nyina no
jete ne company
ni nyina no
frafrawa bi anim. That's right.
Enti no se bedu ba bi a ye di dote no afra dade no a ombe pese wo mode dote no be fra dade no ma adane ade baako se dade na de se dote nso dote na nsa se dade na edi kanti no ombe pese ye be dane dote no ma be de se dade na enye yi ena dane aka no tinto aka se omude ohun be frafra ho ombe ye de obe bia.
That's right.
Ye enti omugo so a omu edi afrafra no ena oka wo verse 44 say ahemfo no a ye be pese ye be kan ho abomu na oma omo bremu ena osoro nyankopon ode na henie ba besi
won se ne da no
yes
ba besi ho gina ho ma Yesu Kristo amaye no
mo enti no Daniel kasa no oka se ahenie no a ebe ba no medru verse 45 o se ebe sai dade no asai kobre no asai sika no asai sika akọ no asai dwete na asai sika akọ no na fe asai dote no na ahana me pese ahwefo hwe ne yi because say we interpretation say the actual no bomode so be chire mu sa pepe.
That's right.
One who say see Babylon ni ho
ini ho
sa na ye ni me pese ni Greece you say you Rome Rome na ho kra no Rome afọ da Rome mo say kan Holy See.
That's right.
Nti ye kan Holy See a kire Rome be Bible no say e Rome sa o kan Holy See obi anim say Rome fine enso so no come say ni kire say Yesu maye no e ba be dwiri Babylon free ho e dwiri me pese e dwiri Greece e dwiri Rome adwiri baabi a Holy See won be dwiri nyina egu enti say ye enti na meka say ohoni no aya wiase ni nkwa sa nipa bia no ye ni nipa sin e wo ho.
That's right.
So that enti no ye ka ohoni a ya hye enti se nipa a gina ho ma wiase.
That's right.
Enti no wiase ye nkwa na we no e wo honi ni na ase baabi a da ni dote no wo no e ho na ebo na efiri osoro ba ye gina ma Yesu Kristo no e ho na ebo ne be boye amotiri no enti Daniel maye nhwesosem ahodo a ebesisi ebedi adan se yidu ba bia dote ne dade no ewo no.
That's right.
Na eno no essence eye nyoma ebesi owie bremu se de odi kan ka tro hene nti no nyoma be sisi na ye de betoto de yakan ho.
That's right.
Se etisen fi se Daniel se
ana isipai
because Daniel se ahene ni fa be ba ye Mmre ebe nso ba ye den enti yemfa video ba ko mi the first videos emfa di anansi yes
ado from enenso ye videos makoma ko 10 a be hwe e de a cheche ensemu nti a hyase kra no message production say videos 1 and 2 munika ro no emfa man.
Let me tell you something. The United States of America is the most powerful nation on earth. Period. Period. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. We spend more on our military than the next 8 nations combined. Our troops are the finest fighting force in the history of the world. No nation attacks us directly or our allies because they know that's the path to ruin. Surveys show our standing around the world is higher than when I was elected to this office, and when it comes to every important international issue. People of the world do not look to Beijing or Moscow to lead, they call us.
I just want to tell you that America is the greatest place on earth. The greatest place on earth. Thank you very much.
Of near Simon Munina Aquaba Safin or join the program na Adiyie Mmre when you go so our share and let Daniel speak part 2 and yes I first 2 videos inti yebeko evangelist ona or atonobo ase acheche video no e dey achen evangelist
very well yeda yakopon ase video na kasa wa ho say Obama woni na bedwafo emrahye bedwafo Asia na o ma wom baby America ko draw ne penso be firi konwa so o kan se bibiri na baby o kan ya metwa na ye di ahwefo adanse man hu sem commission na kasa no o kan se America eni omaya no ho oden a edi no ho chen wiase amanyi nara ena o kan to aso se we America sin chen ya amana man a isuso mo ahoden mako nwotwe a edidi so no o kom nyina ahode bomu a enu America.
That's right.
Obama ni sir
what is asim si e wiase a
yes
yen frɛ Beijing yen frɛ Russia American yisu frɛ
yes yen frɛ China yen frɛ Russia just obi afra America efika just America be mo ansa na ade na adwo Obama ne kasa ye no so yo man pen na ususu se de o kan ye no wo ahone che no kasa so o kan ye process no won so ka bi me nhwa de sir any video mi no a video di kan boy otoso mi no say Donald Trump on kwa ne de me nwa wo sie free plane helicopter wo sie free soro abesi fam kama che omumpo a ya twen wo fam ho no wo ba ye o si o mi ne asempa kwa me di free soro ba ye ni e se me ka kire wi ase se America any amanya esu cha asase so amanyi nara obi ntimi anya hwe se o kan plane obi ankasa sa na mekanisa no a na me honyina so ka ho wo se America o man bi ntimi America yo yemfa video ni adanse
okay
se ampa do mo kan no
no
kre
anase udwane
no aha
production what are my video 3 and 4 and also some way crowd wa room for
My solemn duty to protect America and its citizens. The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord Thank you. Thank you. But begin negotiations to re-enter either the Paris Accord or in really entirely new transaction on terms that are fair to the United States, its businesses, its workers, its people, its taxpayers. So we're getting out, but we will start to negotiate, and we will see if we can make a deal that's fair. And if we can, that's great. And if we can't, that's fine.
And today is a day of hope, as the United States officially rejoins the Paris Agreement. This is good news for the United States and for the world. For the past 4 years, the absence of a key player created a gap in the Paris Agreement, a missing link that weakened the whole. So today, as we mark the United States' re-entry into this treaty, we also recognize its restoration in its entirety and its creators, as its creators intended. Welcome back.
Adofo ya san emamo akwaba bio MC akwakwa videos too no Donald Trump akasa sanso na Antonio Guterres enso akasa ntiyenko evangelist ho na onchemu man
One energy se mo de kasa aye no wo say welcome back so ma America akwaba so on say that here I don't know ma America akwaba enfie nan Donald Trump betra konwa so Obama obekọ no odi wiase anim omuko sensan de kan Paris agreement eno no ye de ekon climate change eye obobre mun sakira ya abai enti ni enim senka ade ne betoa so Trump ba na okasa ye no o say we are getting out enti Trump ebekukura America efirimu kura kwotena baabi.
That's right.
Na asembisa ne say amanya hodo ekọ science akrata no omoye wo ha ne do kunum 195 ena makọ sign paper say mo be ye di wiase nyina aka bom ye ni se be yedwuma ena Trump buy wanka se munya yo oni o se oyi America film ti mun koy mo ade American ka ho
ti beka
194 enti wiase amai mako o ha ne do kunu enan 194 ka bom a American ka ho ntina ade na nye yempie nan ade na nye yi.
Wow.
Daniel can say sahini no chicha baby baye den baby so baye mmre ba kupe na efiri mu no en na kire se ampa ebi ye den bi.
That's right.
Daniel na kasa no kane no a Babylon kwa ho no eno oman ne kasa ekọ nanim so nyina ye baako so edru ho a omo kire se emba chiche enti American kwa yi ne hu firi mu no anye yi enfie nan ebra Joe Biden betra so yi eno kan say de Trump ye no pa cho no mo fa nche nti ono de America ba eno de America akom eno na wiase nyina ye dwam tene pani ye Guterres o de anije ka say welcome back on say o kasa no wo se key player je say key player na de ni hunye pa no wo film nti ade na nye yi cha fe na bade America bade a eni o mana kwaba ebe ye yi eno na me ka kire wo say ade no a ye gina so dia ka wiase abomu no ene fa ne climate change.
That's right.
No no dia ba climate change ma ya senka obi ati ba bi enso no climate change say ewiemu nsa kire ye aba onsuo en chedan to ni bremu ebeton so eto so niema se de eguso esisi yi enu ntinu wiase ni kan humbom na ye mfa hyengu akwam se be ya ye be dane hye ni yi se be onsuo beto a ento ni bremu ma yen duane so yenye bindi ene ne ka ho enam epo momwa ni nyina ho aka sa obobren sakira ya ba ka ne climate change no eno ni apa mo afu gina so se obia nka ye ho emum.
That's right.
Daniel can say ombe presse ombe fem for ho be ka ho abum na eno no video 5 be kire see about video 4.
That's right.
Ye find this video in kire.
That's right. Na chese ebra mo keka o mo ho abom pese asomdwe eba no entimi nyeyi
Enyeyi
ju
enyeyi
production Mr. Samoy crowd video 5 on so mu room for my ne mfa nkyra sem.
The UN system will support this effort every step of the way. Justice should also mean several other things.
finally making good on the long-delayed promise of $100 billion a year in climate finance for developing countries. Clarity and a credible roadmap to double adaptation finance. Changing the business models of multilateral development banks and international financial institutions. They must accept more risk and systematically leverage private finance for developing countries at reasonable costs. But let's be clear, our planet is still in the emergency room. We need to drastically reduce emissions now, and this is an issue this COP did not address. A fund for loss and damage is essential, but it's not an answer if the climate crisis washes a small island state off the map or turns an entire African country to desert. The world still needs a giant leap on climate ambition. The red line we must not cross is the line that takes our planet over the 1.5 degree temperature limit. To have any hope of keeping to 1.5, we need to massively invest in renewables and end our addiction to fossil fuels. We must avoid an energy scramble in which developing countries finish last, as they did in the race for COVID-19 vaccine.
Adolfo yesan emamo kwa babiu yakwakotie Antonio Guterres yanko evangelist of we ene nkomse wo twaka me
on say all kasa no or ka climate change and ye de kan wiase nyina bom omopa omonko wiase abakosemu se eden na aba wiase ma omanyi nara nipa nyina susu se we nko ade yenka ehumom.
That's right.
Ebin sida tina meka se ayenkomse climate change nan kasa won komse mu na yesan se minim for dos o wiase babo no yebuna bomfie ntino ade na sese nyina no omu hu hwe but climate change no na ya hya honkom na wom da chi bia no ebe so fine
nti na che insida e wiase abakoso se bibi beka wiase nyina abomu insida na mum climate change ba ya ne de wiase nyina da emfa ho nipa krona som omaya mfiri mu nyina ka ho abom
good
impatamfo
Aye. Papa no kasa Guterres. Yes.
Okay, UN Web TV.
Very good.
Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the closing of COP27, November 19, 2022.
Yes.
I welcome the decision to establish a loss and damage fund and to operationalize it in the coming period.
Why are they?
Okay. The UN system will support this effort every step of the way. Okay. Finally, making good on the long delayed promise of $100 billion a year in climate finance for developing countries.
Yes.
Okay. We need to drastically reduce emission now. And this is an issue this COP did not address. Okay.
I feel no about the red line.
The red line we must not cross is the line that takes our planet over the 1.5 degree temperature limit. We must avoid an energy scramble in which developing countries finish last, as they did in the race for COVID-19 vaccines.
Yadanase. And to what tape a panica semwa. Nika nyina na oka wiase se eba no ye call COP27 no o kire mo ho se ye twa sika 100 billion ato ho se ye mpamwa amanaman na amama ye fa bo anya obi akeke ye mpamwa ye ya ehia ye no ye ni bia ho kire ye no nti omwanka se nim se aman na ehia no ebe ho kire wonom ebe tiye
ebi emre
sa Daniel nakasa no.
That's right.
Mo ena o ka to aso se eba no obobre nsa kire ya abai o hyew no nyoma aba wiase no ye nyina yenka bom ne yenko enu nti hyehyeye no mudi aba no yenhwe ye na yanko nya aman a onwo emre no yanko nya nte se de covid ba ya yekoya wo mo no
vaccine no na momwenya
na ye nya sa
we de ye konope
sa na tie enti no o kire mo se we must drastically ye nyina yenka bom na ohyew a aba wiem no yenka bom na yente so te ho de wo emre wo wodin ka ho ka jese yenka bom na afa yente awiem hye no so enna da ne ka se sanka bo no mbebo modin se ombeka bom so so den enye yi eno ni dade ni dote no a edi afra no enti no die ebeke ka wo ho Obrenbeka as a catalyst. Adiyie na enni ho na aba ma abantino akeka nipa no abomu eno ne catalyst na make no na ebi nsi wiase so da se amanyina ye kan ho bom akon etia adekoro da bibinsi ye bremu na ade esi
World War echi establish UN nyama nyina na kodwen ne
da bi
be we di o ma bi anyi mfiri
obia bi kan ho enti die aba omo se ye nkunti asese no ene ni meet omo call no COP 27 no na omokoye no omoji nchishaya hodo bi tumu ntimi yekuta Sharm el Sheikh implementation plan no na yebehwe page 4 pacho.
Okay. Page 4.
Yeah, page 4. Page 4 paragraph 21.
Okay. I'll say.
Yes.
Emphasis.
Yes.
The urgent need for parties to increase their effort to collectively reduce emission through accelerated action and implementation of domestic mitigation measures.
Fine.
In accordance with Article 4, Paragraph 2 of the Paris Agreement. 22. Urges parties that have not yet communicated new or updated nationally determined contributions to do so as soon as possible in advance of the 5th session of the Conference of Parties, 7 as the meeting of the parties to the Paris Agreement, December 2023. Recalls Article 3.
Very good.
And Article 4, Paragraph 3, 4, 5, and 11 of the Paris Agreement, and request parties that have not yet done so to revisit and strengthen the 2030 targets in their nationally determined contributions.
Yes.
As necessary to align with the Paris Agreement temperature goals by the end of 2023, taking into account different national circumstances.
I think called 25. Yes.
Reiterates its invitation to parties to update the strategies referred to in paragraph 21 above.
Yes.
Regularly. As appropriate, in line with the best available science.
Me pacho. One will say last week ye man ya hwe for na efisiapa. And I can say 31st December mo kwa sorry ebi kwosere dan ebi sra wade me pekunu me payire.
That's right.
Ebi sra visa ebi sra car omu sra nyama hodo obi asra bi me ba ha no ade a me sra ne se afiwe 2023 man kan na sie afiwe yi enu ama se be kwa wiye no yesu mba be fa yenko
titi
me request abi
we want this right
me amade se
yenkom she
debi so bia kwosere benz wo kwan hye nkom onu so kwosere ena me so me sra se me de no yesu omba fa ye nyina nko nyem so okwosere wade no onu sra nkwa onu nkwa ne sra fa ye the hospital dan onu nkwa ne wansere bia mame me de me sra ma wiase nyina se afiwe 2023 enkwa wiye no Kristo ma be fa yenko ye nyina me fa yenko ma de sere ni
amen
ebi mu se omo mpane sa
se de nipa na ho boa so na kwankro
omo mpane sa wo mu ko meeting no omo se 2023 de ekoji tum wo Paris 2015 COP 21 2021 koji tum wo Paris no eno de esi yemfanye dwuma 2023 na omo ko hwa de kura wo sa 2023 no because Daniel kan say ahemfo yi enem sa ahemfo no wo mo be sorry 2023 yi emu ne ya sha ahye enti no memempa abone se ahemfo ne mra no ne yekọ tina Daniel kan say ahemfo yi nemu na me kan bebre last me kan say meeting mo ye no mo kan say mienu bi na enu no yekọ amakom tina ma akọ kan ho na me ba ha na fa ye de hu video aba.
That's right.
Na sanse mienu no ene twa de meka nyina twa na wo me kan ne sesei ya hye bose yekọ amakom akoka ye wie beba na on se wo kan no o kan say Sharm el Sheikh implementation plan no ejina the best available science.
That's right.
Abodi mu nyansa pefo ekuo a UN ate enna yejina so de kan wiase bomu nhye mo de aba no eno na ye nyina so na fe ye nyina ya nhwe so na fe yemfa bobra.
That's right.
Eno video na eba no 6-7.
Okay. Production wadaroma video 6 and 7 and share bay and a science forces ye diswa ebe boa ma bobra emu aye hye ene o hawo ne atorenche ma ye famu no ebeba fam amaye yenko videos ni no Mmre.
The climate emergency is a race we are losing, but it is a race we can win. The climate crisis is caused by us, and the solutions must come from us. We have the tools. Technology is on our side. Readily available technological substitutions already exist for more than 70% of today's emissions. And we have the roadmap, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Paris Agreement on climate change. And we have the imperative, undeniable, irrefutable science. The best science, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, tells us that any temperature rise about 1.5 degrees will lead to major and irreversible damage to the ecosystems that support us. But science also tells us it is not too late. We can do it. Limiting warming to 1.5 degrees is still possible.
Now, looking at policies that were implemented by December 2020, we conclude that, without strengthening mitigation efforts, greenhouse gas emissions are projected to lead to warming of 3.2 degrees. In the scenarios we assessed, limiting warming to 1.5 degrees requires global greenhouse gas emissions to peak before 2025 at the latest and be reduced by 43% by 2030. Emissions from methane, a short-lived but very potent greenhouse gas, would also need to be reduced by about a third over the same period. And even if we do this, it is almost inevitable that we will at least temporarily exceed 1.5 degrees warming, but we could return below this level by the end of the century. Now, limiting warming to around 2 degrees still requires global emissions to peak before 2025 at the latest and be reduced by about a quarter by 2030.
Adofo ne sign emamo kwaba bio safe no adwene program na Adiyie Mmre na ohwe ene ye Let Daniel Speak part 2 na ye hwe na yakwa videos mienu sa videos yi Adiyie ne wo kafa enkomhye ho yenko evangelist.
Good. One say UN Secretary General ono auto wiasefo no o say we have the tools ye were akade o time for na okuta ye nyina no
ye climate change
no ye betimi de na de sieni ti akade no wo boboso no eno ka baako the best available science one mo ekuta science no IPCC Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change inter na mo de ahye ono kire se oman ni oman enka bom ekuo a omode yiyi obobre mu nyasapafo ekuo ayate Ghana for kan ho mahwelis no na cha yeguso ya nim ehu hia de din betudwa na ena yem fanto dwansa oman bia ewo nimdifo a mususu se omo aben che se munko committee no so committee so mo buru 1000
wow
na enfien num eni nso bia mu no ena mo de report ba enti report o mo de aba no afewi atwam a omo mba biem agese empien so aba biu enti de omo de aba no ekase ye de mu nsam nyina ye dwuma de keka koni na oka se video to so mienu no waka se yete emission so emission ne ye no ma ekọ wiem efini pansa no dwuma ekọ wiem a yes
greenhouse gases
good.
And the rest
ma ohyew eba wiem no wo se ye nte so ya gitum na nte so na eba bete so no eno na moko meeting bo so mienu afwe November atwa mu yi eno makwaja tum se 2023 ena yen hyase emra na aka nyina no yen hyase fanye dwuma ene video to so mi no ka se said yes ya hyehye bra ne ya nante ade be du last year no
okay
se be to so saa ene yen ntimi eno nti emra hodo aka eno no mpanimfo mpa maaye no yen fa mra video to so mi ni ene ko meeting no video to so mi no mo ye no April 2022
wow
omo ahye date bi amaye dom date omo hye ane se ese se ye mra hodo ye wo no ye pagem shemu kenani ye dwuma ansa na 2025 omode to omode maye ni ene ye ko meeting November ye ko no ma na ye ka se da bi 2025 de ene afi wo ye 2023 ye de mra nyina be sha se den aye dwuma enti no ye nyina ye ko adwen krumu dan ye ka se ye be prese ye be kan ho bonso so nye yi Antonio Guterres okasa no osi red line bi ho ni kwan say ye crosso.
That's right.
Ni kwan say ye trust ahye ye trust ahye ni pe e do say ye beba na eni say eno na agya konkro Pope Francis nin se mo keka na fe ye duru so say ye be koso.
The Washington Post
Mo
date is 1st September 2020.
yes.
Pope used pandemic to give environmental a vital rest.
And they say Pope say said ye yade no ba ya ye kotia ye no ye mfa sa kwa no so ano ma ya asase ne den anya home.
Okay.
Yes.
Vatican City. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown how the earth can recover if we allow it to rest.
Good.
And must inspire people to adapt simpler lifestyles to help a planet groaning under the constant demand for economic growth. Francis said on Tuesday.
Yo, Pope Francis say said the COVID ba ya ye fa so ku ye no ye fa sa akwa no so ne yenko ne ma ya sase no anya home. COVID ba no ede na wo mu a Pope Francis wan fa wo gina so say ye fa sa akwa no so. Videos at that's Mmre.
Okay.
Yes.
Ekwambe ne ye fa so ama ye ya sase ahome. Ye nkonko videos 8 to 9 Mmre.
Around the world recoil in the face of COVID-19. Their carbon emissions are also shrinking. With businesses shutting up shop and global supply chains disrupted, pollution from transport and manufacturing have taken big hits. Just how much New Zealand's emissions will drop remains to be seen, but environmental scientists and the climate change minister all agree that it's what happens when the economies kick back into gear that will matter the most. Nita Blake-Person reports.
Airports are emptying out and factories are grinding to a halt. Entire communities are in quarantine and countries are shutting their borders. The effects of COVID-19 are being felt across the planet and in its environment.
In the short term, I think that carbon emissions are going to fall. You know, people are not moving around so much. Trade has dropped. International travel is dropped. Production has fallen. So I'm sure that there'll be a temporary drop. The big question is, will the world go back to the way it was once the epidemic is past?
Alistair Woodward is a lead author for reports for the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
Now, one very rare positive effect of the past few months has been on the environment. The biggest ever reduction in the volume of carbon dioxide released into the world's atmosphere has been recorded since March. At the height of the lockdown, scientists discovered that daily emissions around the world dropped by more than 17%. The biggest fall was in China, which saw a drop in emissions of 24%. Here in the UK, the reduction was 13%. But scientists are warning that this extreme reduction, as they call it, in greenhouse gas emissions is likely to be temporary, as our science editor David Schuckman explains.
All over the world, some stunning transformations. From choked streets in India becoming calmer and easier to breathe in, to the most famous landmark in China suddenly looking clearer, to the centre of Paris, often polluted, now quieter and cleaner. The fight against the virus has slowed down many economies at huge cost, but it's also done wonders for the air and for the carbon emissions that are heating up the planet. The drop in traffic is a major part of that, here in the UK and globally. Lower demand for electricity has also made a difference, along with the grounding of planes. Fewer flights means less carbon released into the air. It's a pattern seen around the world. The lighter the shade here, the bigger the decline in emissions. In some countries, up again, but still a huge change.
The fall in emissions we're seeing, 17% per day, is enormous. We haven't experienced something like this before, as far as we can tell. It's driven by changes in road transport.
Okay, I don't from your sign Emma Kwababa. Evans message na koso you may send the message by I think say your kind.
Okay.
Or say I am a man of God at first. We used to worship on Sunday. But now I have changed it to Sabbath church.
Wow.
So now I want to come to you so that you teach me more.
Amen.
You know I will send a message when you view program the number to your friend because a kwampa and I want so near her kwampa first one you ever even I call her videos.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Over to me cry the way so. Sam Casson said, I saw been 1 years for. Almost a program you.
That's right. Eh, Yamincha de Yinia Bakon our Kwajama church on Mr. and Mrs. Obani Nikun, Mama Diana Babakansa, Yanko Pontias phone in Islam Papa.
Yes.
Other people Zunsia, Nepeboa.
Ya bo video mi no aka ho. Paul Francis o kire se COVID ni bae no. Aban ahodo de omutumi etututu nipa mo se obia nkafi enkwadwuma lockdown e brofo din no. Omo se ewiem te prekope. Okay. Fi se ka anye dwuma. Carpenter onko dwirida ayi ndua ho.
That's right.
Obia kadem enti ema wiem eche. Ena Paul Francis say yetimi hu sa ade ni ntino. Yenye lockdown. Ye lockdown no ebema ohyew no anka ekwo wiem da bia na eso beti. Ena BBC dai say da ku bia no na omunya 17%. Ohamu nchemu dunson. Ohyew no a ekwo soro. Te say me wo hoye na bia de efidi abehye mamotom. Ana de ye akobra ye de hwe mo maso. Ya so ho aye hyedodo. Enso ye ma me home da ko no ohyew no eso te. Tipo Francis say ye ma wiase ne home na ohyew no eso nte. Yo yate ye da na se. Na
me ko even e ho dance one na ye hunu ye so hu se ne ba bi ho wiem na ye kusu o agiafa be home num no wo se na akwate wan afa utu chiri se emfasa akwan no so
afei omo nka so makali na di adanse omo document na go to so earthbeat.
Okay. Okay. No longer just an observer.
Yes.
Vatican looks a wild new status in UN climate talks, November 17th, 2022. When Cardinal Pietro Parolin addressed world leaders in the first day of COP27, the United Nations Climate Change Summit held in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, he did so on equal footing with the heads of states assembled before him. The speech
in that capacity, maybe the next speech.
Okay.
And you know, oh, Shusha, my mention say, Yam or Mamma Yatia say, I fear Tremui, any deadly kind, a bin sida. Sir Roman Catholic, a sorry in a bind. A you one musimi, sir only we are some and a man pen in phone call Cassa. Na oko drew hono, if you said that no coninano, or no more Cassa, or no more Cassati pencil. So your mampany, or no say or your mampany. Or see, a fear Tremui, a fena say, in sida. Daniel say, on back kick on whom afen fam. Na e ba ne say say they are sorry adani aban. Yes. Na aso penny out penny to say man penny. I am come say.
That's right. In that capacity. The Holy See delegation at COP21 in December 2015 carried with it a list of 10 Laudato Si inspired principles and proposals.
Yepa entino in that capacity say what be your man penny ntino. Or kai we ase say 2015 no Paul Francis Ede Laudato Si e command we ase ampanimfo na Laudato Si ode ma ono o se na emransem du ehim.
That's right.
Omo nka nkyere you ode Laudato Si ni emma we ase 2015 no wanka nkyere we ase se huma ya mede mamu yi emransem du wanka o se munye na munsan na mo so amaje amasan ya ba bedu impienso achi afe na wakobio wakare sese ma be o mampani no me kai mo se de medi mamu no mujitu mu no
na mranse
no wo pa ka se da bi.
Okay.
Na no wo share page 172 173
eti mo am wo bia mo pesa my reference no Laudato Si page 172 paragraph 237 and I read, on Sunday our participation in the Eucharist has special importance. Sunday, like the Jewish Sabbath, is meant to be a day which heals our relationship with God, with ourselves, with others, and with the world.
More affect so the law of weekly rest.
Okay, the law of weekly rest.
Yes.
Forbid work on Sabbath day, so that your ox, your donkey, may have rest, and the son of your maidservant, and the stranger may be refreshed. As recorded in Exodus chapter 23 verse 12.
Yes.
Rest opens our eyes to the larger picture and gives us renewed sensitivity to the rights of others. And so the day of rest centered on the Eucharist,
yes,
shed its light on the whole week and motivates us to greater concern for nature and the poor.
Thank you. And Paul Francis, I catch them we are see, and I can say, ye the Quasiada and the home. Said ye a tear ewo Exodus, most of matters you know, tell you me that you do me, meditate set of Christ or muti. Yes. Paul Francis, the Quasiada and the home, and not them we are seeing.
That's right.
And no can the man same do or the command we are 2015. And check. I feel a tremor in Bush me a toss on 90 that also don't cry. And no one can say Macali for Bab on Tebet with the Dino. I'm what they call you.
Yes, there may be a Nakas on the Bidijuman, sir, or Bichim said the Bidijuman. Say, or say, this one, Paso Benya, Massa Abeti or so of you, Abetis one. Okay, and no Catholic Herald, Catholic Herald. Okay, climate healing by doing less. More 1 day a week. That's 19th April 2022.
Very good. Oh, the Chasukra called the last button, baby. So what can one person do?
So what can one person do?
Yes.
Not much. But 70 million US Catholics could make a difference on the Sabbath.
Yes.
Greatly reducing carbon in the atmosphere by literally doing less.
Very good.
If you are waiting for God to save us, you are too late. He told us how by writing it with his finger on stone tablets several thousand years ago. What would honoring the Sabbath look like?
Yes.
Worship and prayer as usual. No shopping with human lives at stake. Is it so difficult to only shop 6 days?
Very good. No, what you're saying about something is very wrong.
Okay. Something is very wrong.
Yes.
And there isn't much one person can do to reduce the threat.
Yes.
But if 70 million Catholics heard Pope Francis' words in Laudato Si and honored the Sabbath,
yes,
we might all break into music and bring joy to our Mother Earth. And all it requires is that we do less, but do it together, 1 day each week.
So I'm do it together. Yen yen can boom. Say the Church of Christ for come or radio and TV say Kwasiada na na ekono. Omo nyina ni kwasa sum na chi. Eno na you and say yen shemra and all para agreement. Enti afi we no moji atom say yen nyina ye kan bom na afi ya shemra ma ye di Kwasiada homeda so. And na me catch on TV so ene date near saying 8 January 2023 say omo nim na se omo de Mmre be ba afi we mu say ye beka onyankopon homeda na hye na omo de nipa Mmra abesi nyankopon de ananam a wiase kuru abaye ma.
Wow.
Na wiase kuru aye ma de si no wabre so de si Sodom ebibesi.
Wow.
And ya me de bomb atase e betimi abo last video.
Okay. Production Mr. Wadaru video 10 and also moon room for my video 10.
Every new year is a moment of rebirth. We sweep out the ashes of the old year and prepare for a brighter day. In 2022, millions of people around the world literally swept out ashes. From Ukraine to Afghanistan, to the Democratic Republic of the Congo and beyond, people left the ruins of their homes and lives in search of something better. Around the world, 100 million people were on the move, fleeing wars, wildfires, droughts, poverty, and hunger. In 2023, we need peace now more than ever. Peace with one another, through dialogue to end conflict. Peace with nature and our climate to build a more sustainable world. Peace in the home, so women and girls can live in dignity and safety. Peace on the streets and in our communities, with the full protection of all human rights. Peace in our places of worship, with respect for each other's beliefs. And peace online, free from hate speech and abuse. In 2023, let's put peace at the heart of our words and actions. Together, let's make 2023 a year when peace is restored to our lives, our homes, and our world.
I don't understand Emma Kwababio with the young evangelist on Yankuti Antonio Guterres kind name.
Very good. UN, we are saying Akabumuni.
That's right.
Almost say I feel with 2023 yepe asunji. Obian fani die Emma Obia Suma womb. And no sacrata no Yankopon Buana said next week by Yebeko Sacrata no so. Nemo or can be me for you and for 19th December. With the headline on Kwan Nafe Yediasem ACN.
UN News, Global Perspective Human Stories.
Yes.
Guterres announced no nonsense climate action summit.
Very good.
Calls for political solutions. 19th December 2022. Oh, very recent.
Aye.
Peace and security.
Mo.
The UN chief said on Monday he was determined to make 2023 a year for peace and a year for action, highlighting the need for political solutions to a raft of pressing problem facing all regions of the world.
Full stop. Enti Antonio Guterres video na etie nu o se 2023 eye afia ye de sie no se ye pe asundwie ama wiase ti ye nyina ye ka bom ni apa asundwie no eye asem papa na asundwie na ye kwa kope no se nhihye no mo ye ne se ye beto Yakopon mena firi ho eno ansa na nya asundwie dia ene asundwie na nya mai
opa asundwie and a prince of peace no de na
yes ai asundwie hina nkasa mo yina firim ne homeda nso no mo tese mo ato atwene ye beba so next week.
Okay.
Na Daniel can say sa hemfo yi endam fi se bone na omoye no ma wiase kuro ayema on be hia ohene no enche pi o chene be hia amakom.
Wow. Even Zinyame insha papa bet anano ready message be chere SDA4.
Aye.
Say ohene na se na churchcraft.
Aye.
Any
statecraft.
Imuni we.
Yes.
Enti adanse we chere yen say diaka boa ensa bia nkremu a ebeba bebo ohune na ase no enti asem ni nyina po ene se yensiesie ho efise nche yekufie oba de nsha so ojebre na utie dwumadie na hwesi utehye yen fefefe ya boys to men ohima ya santo bitik ewo Accra mumudo do amunim Accra no free run circle na kombe koma onsa binkum so pe ufima kom so na eba otra me koma onsa nifa ono na daroma o share suit e program is hu ne number e screen so copy e program na frɛ no ba bia wo bia no obetimi asende e de abrew nti ne no eni nkita ho ye koso hia sika e de sponsor ana aboa program e tua airtime no ye number we send this kaba so no e na e go screen so no I know ye 05535749933 amakom SDA church ochena anopa no nkron na ye free dwumadie na se kosi se nunum ebepem amakom SDA church ochena evangelist Joseph Anane eba ho timonsha no so saman program ahwe na nwumre Mr Free Adaroma ukuada nwumre ubetimi asanya ahwe ewo Royal TV Angel TV and a Trinity TV obra nundu abo ekobo eduba akono to oba de insha so jebre na ohwe dwumadi from asuafo de share kofi kakari nyame akwa on so kasa kire ye evangelist the researcher Joseph Anani evangelist oba de insha na wo twese ne Bible Adiyie Mmre ebebo akwan so bi okai ebe me hunu nokre no na nokre no ayi ade share
3BN Ghana
3BN enso to aso intimuma yenkohwe no so God bless you.
Jesus, you're the wind beneath my wings.